Be heard here. Be sure to hit the notification bell because YouTube is stupid, and the only way that you'll be able to see my videos is if you're super active on my channel or you hit that notification bell. So please do so. Now enjoy the video. YouTube land, what's good? It's your boy B Heard, aka Brian, aka PB, aka Prince. If you don't know me, I love NRS games, as you can see. Future FGC commentator, hopefully, rhyming accidentally. The Injustice Pro Series 2, Season 2. I think this is the first time we ever got a Season 2 for an NRS game. I'm not too sure. I think Mortal Kombat X had something. I don't know if MK9 had something. I don't remember if... I was about to flip off the camera. I don't remember if Injustice 1 had something. But yeah, this is for sure the guarantee Season 2 of the Injustice Pro Series. So this is the preview show. What better way to do it than a preview show? I would show some gameplay, but then you can't see my ugly face and some music in the background. So we're going to do it that way. First and foremost, shouts out to Test Your Might. That's a site where I get all my tech, my combos, my news, my Injustice Pro Series news. I use that site all the time. If you love NRS games, I mean, because they have everything from Mortal Kombat 9, Mortal Kombat X, Injustice 1, Injustice 2, and then they talk about other stuff too. It's a forum page, and think of Shoryuken and stuff like that. I didn't personally grow up on Shoryuken. I grew up on Test Your Might, so that's the one I use. If you want to know about the NRS scene and things of that nature, go to that site. Shouts out to them. This is not like a sponsorship video or anything like that, but that's just the site I use. Shouts out to NetherRealm Studios. You know, they didn't have to put, they didn't have to put money towards Injustice Pro Series Season 2. They didn't have to make the Season 2, but they decided to because they know that their game's heavily supported. The game did well, and like I said, it's still supported. War of the Gods, actually, two more shouts out before I start. War of the Gods, shouts out to Mr. Aquaman and Echo, as they're like that staff with the Steamy staff held it down. They was doing weekly Injustice tournaments. Now they're doing Dragon Ball FighterZ, so if you're into that, I definitely say recommend it. Check it out. It's free to sign up, and you can win money if you do well. I mean, that sounds like a good thing to me. You know what I'm saying? I would truly say, as a clickbait, you know, like a Vet Hub's title here, but I would truly say that War of the Gods kept Injustice alive. Not saying that Injustice not being at tournaments didn't help. Not saying that the pros obviously still going to tournaments and keeping their gameplay, whatever play. But if you wanted the biggest like local scene for Injustice Weekly, you had to go to War of the Gods. You had to be on stream. Like, that's just facts. I always caught it off YouTube. I'm not really on streaming, especially with a Twitch affiliate. Not saying like it's beef or nothing like that, but still. The War of the Gods kept Injustice 2 alive. Like, that's facts. I don't try to argue me if you want to, but you're gonna be wrong. I'm just keeping it honest. And then the last shout out is SRK stats or ranking stats. That's where I got all my information. So I get all my information for CPT tournament. I love that website. They have so much information. They go all the way back with Injustice 1, MK9, Injustice 2 stats. I was looking up stats from last year. Shouts out to them. Super dope. And I think it's like you can submit the information too. So I think whoever created the website is a genius for having that. And I love that stats that I can look up anything for the FGC. Super dope. As far as the Injustice Pro Series and the commentators go, the commentators I would love to see and also work with for sure. Katana Prime, easily. I feel like he makes the job easy for anyone that he's working with. And fun fact, I did have an opportunity to work with him, but due to unfortunate circumstances, couldn't make it to Frosty Faustins. If I made it to Frosty Faustins, I would have worked with Katana Prime in the top 8. That would have been so godlike. I'm sorry, Katana Prime. Probably don't know that, but, well, you know now. And had a chance to work at KNT. I don't know who. I think it was a local guy at KNT. So shout out to that guy. And then, obviously, the duo, Ketchup and Mustard. I mean, come on now. You gotta have. I doubt I would work with one of them because I feel like they're better as a tandem. But the fact that they're pro players that do commentary, I think it's super sick. Hopefully they get the chance to do E-League. I think it was E-League that they didn't get a chance and opportunity to do that. Hopefully if Injustice 2 does a second cycle through E-League, they get their chance, and rightfully so. They deserve it. I think they're one of the best people as far as representing the Injustice scene. Darth Irma, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I hope I didn't botch that out. Real cool dude. I've seen your work with Honeybee. Obviously, he's one of the top Injustice commentators. I would love to work with him, and I respectfully so. And then Echo and Mr. Aquaman, like I said, they held the city down. They held the city down. They held Injustice Pro Series, or Injustice period. Like they put it on their back, people. I don't think you realize what I'm saying to you. They carried it when Injustice was kind of in like a dead period. There wasn't no new characters coming out. There wasn't no news. There wasn't anything. So the fact that they did weekly, I think it was like it was like an actual season, like almost on like football, basketball type season stuff. So shouts out to those guys. Big fans of those guys. Echo, the big homie. I usually talk to him when I can. He don't respond back. I think it's because I ask him too many questions. I think that's the kind of friend I am. Especially if I know you know more than me and I'm trying to learn. You know what I'm saying? Especially with Injustice and commentary. I'm gonna ask you a lot of damn questions. It's kind of annoying, but I'm sorry. But this is what it is. And Caboose, I see him what he's been doing in the Canada scene. I think he's a big friend. He's a homie of my homie. So for those of you who don't know, I'm big friends with Uncaged Games. Shouts out to him, I guess. But yeah, he's a big homie to my homie. So you casa, me casa. You know what I'm saying? Any friend of mine is a friend of mine. Any friends of my friends is a friend of mine. Yeah. So yeah, I like his commentary. I like his work. I think he's been killing it in that Canada scene. So shouts out to him. Pull prize is different this year. I don't know exactly what it was last year. I didn't get a chance to look at that. But this year it's up 100,000. You know what I'm saying? 50,000 in global, and then the rest goes respectively elsewhere. But I mean, NRS threw 100,000 to something that they don't. I wouldn't say don't care about, but it's like it's not as important as it was last year. Like, bruh, what? And one thing that they switched from last year that I actually do like is they had, instead of one last chance qualifier and 2 from Europe, 2 from Latin America, and then 2 from Canada, I believe so, which would be 7, and then like 9 would be just off points. They switched it to where it's now more points based. I wish they would have added more spots. I feel like 16 doesn't do it justice. I feel like you gotta have a 32-man bracket, especially if it's double elimination, stuff like that. There's too many good players for it to not be a 32-man bracket, but they decided to go with 16. It is what it is. But yeah, like I said, they're going to do 12 off of global points alone, so you got to win. You got to do well. You got to place. Regardless of where you at, where this, that, and the third. As long as you do well, you'll have a shot, right? 1 from Europe, 1 from Latin America, 1 from Canada, and then the last chance qualifier. And I think the last chance qualifier last year was a Foxy Grandpa, if I'm not mistaken. Don't test me on that. Just going off of memory. And one noticeable thing, too, that's going to be very interesting on how the points work this year, right? Is they didn't say anything on their website as far as like point changes or anything that's to my knowledge. So at the date of this video, which I think is like May 17th, they haven't changed the points or the point system. But we don't know because obviously Combo Breaker's coming up next weekend, but so that could be completely different. But they did change the number of events. Last year there was 18 events that you could go to or compete in to win points. This year there's only 8. So that's over half. So like that makes big difference in how you're gonna get your points and things of that nature. And as far as the tour is concerned, obviously, like I said, next week there's Combo Breaker. Technically in June, there's CEO. I mean, it goes into July, but I'm counting it as June. So there's 1 event in May, there's 1 event in June, and then there's 2 events in July, which is the Australian event, the Vanillity. I butchered that. I'm sorry. As a commentator, I feel like I should be better at enunciating words, but players mess up, dog. I'm just keeping on it. And then there's the online North America West event, which I would love to do commentary for. Oh, and shouts out to those guys that do the online event. I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but they always killed it. I always enjoyed their commentary. It's got like, I know it's like, how can you enjoy something that you don't know the name for? Yeah, look, listen. Chill out. Evo in August, and then the online Europe event. And then in September, there's the Southern Cal Regional and the North America East Coast event. And the funny thing about Evo is, Evo's obviously Evo, so it's the biggest event, the most amount of numbers of players you're going to get, etc., right? Evo's listed on the Justice Pro Series 2, Season 2 website as a premiere, where last year is rated as Evo. Now, you probably like be heard, like, why do you say that? Why is that important to me? What's the difference? Obviously, Evo's Evo, but if they're listing as a premier event, that's only worth 250 points, whereas last year that's worth 400 for the winner. So that's, that's a big difference of points. So, excuse me. My thing is it a premier or is it Evo? Because that's a lot of points. 400 to 250. That's a big difference. That's like first. That's like getting in and getting out. So I need to know how the points are going to be determined. And then one noticeable thing too about Combo Breaker being the first event next weekend. Last year they had almost 400 entries with 391. This year we're at 223, which I still think is a great number, especially for Injustice being a dead game. And last year's winner was Sonic Fox, but the interesting thing about Sonic Fox winning last year is he played Deadshot and Black Adam, which I think he could play. Now, Deadshot not so much as viable, but it's Sonic Fox. But he could definitely play Black Adam, so it's gonna be interesting. So, like I was saying earlier with the points, let's talk about it. Because Evo, either being Evo or Evo being a premier, two totally different things. Because listen to this. Evo, the winner gets 400 points. Second place gets 320. Third place gets 250. Fourth place gets 200. Fifth place gets 160. Seventh place gets 130. Ninth place gets 100. And 13th place gets 7. But if Evo's premier, first place gets 250. Second place gets 160. 130. 100. Fifth place gets 70. Seventh place gets 45. Ninth place gets 25. And 13th place gets 10. You see the difference? Huge difference. And then there's only 3 online events, or 3 ranking events, if you will. Those events are 70, 45, 25, 10, 5, and 1. And it finishes off at top 7. So that is going to be very, very interesting on how the points are It's going to be interesting on how the points are spread and how the points are determined. I hope that Evo's Evo, so that way you could obviously, there's going to be like a clear-cut front runner and like the points are going to matter, right? If everything's the same, it's going to be a little tough too. And I definitely think one of the key events this year is going to be that Australia event. It's going to be interesting to see who goes to the event and who doesn't. That's what I'm saying. So I'm definitely curious. Like if I'm an East Coast guy, you know what I'm saying, and I can only go to like the U.S. events, you figure I can only compete in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 events, and I'm missing 3. You know what I'm saying? So you want to go to as much events as you possibly can, just depending on your location. So I'm curious. It's gonna be very interesting to see how the points and all that stuff differ. Now, the best part about this video that I'm sure everybody wants to talk about is the players. And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to break down. And now, I didn't get a chance. There's so many players in Injustice. There's so many. I think I wrote down 26 or 28. I'm not even sure how many I wrote down. And the sad part about me writing 26 or 28 is not everybody's going to make it. If I wrote 26, there's going to be 10 people that's not going to make that list. Competition is scarce, man. It's going to be tough. We talked about him before, and we're going to talk about him again, and I think he's probably the clear-cut number 1. But see, it's different, too, because, like, I feel like the second place person too. There's argument for him being number one, but I haven't seen him in a while, so I don't know if he's been streaming. I don't know if he's been playing the game. I don't know if he's just like working on a new character, so he doesn't want anyone to see it. Possibly, there's so many possibilities. But I think number one clear cut is Sonic Fox because he could probably play the damn roster. If I'm being all the way honest with you. I even wrote that in my notes. I was like, I wrote in my notes, I wrote the player, and then I wrote like a character they played and been known to play. And I just wrote Sonic Fox in parentheses with roster. Because he could play the whole roster. I think he's been working at Captain Cold. And obviously there's no Captain Cold like Sonic Fox. But, I mean, he could play Michelangelo. He could play Firestorm. He could play Black Manta. And that's just a few. Like, I can't remember what tournament it ended. But I feel like the last tournament that Sonic Fox won in Injustice 2 was 4 different characters. He won the last 4 tournaments for Injustice 2, like in like the US or whatever, and they were like 4 different characters. So he could play the whole roster at exceptionally high level. Sonic Fox is definitely going to be the clear-cut favorite. I don't think that I had a lot of spit there. That's why I paused. I suck that. I don't think that it's. I did it again. Sorry. I don't think that it's clear cut Sonic Fox versus the field anymore. I feel like the field is getting stronger, and Sonic Fox has been playing more Dragon Ball. I mean, Sonic Fox could come back to Injustice whenever he wants. He's that good of a player. But I just don't think it's. I don't think it's like here. I don't think the skill gap's here where it's like Sonic Fox and everybody else. I think it's more like here. So there's definitely going to be a chance that he can get beat. Because, I mean, even in E-League, he lost the first round, I believe. And, I mean, he battled his way back and did well and won it, I believe. But, yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's beatable, but when you can play the whole roster, what unfavorable matchup? Please, tell me. I think he's going to go with Captain Cold at Combo Breaker. That's the character he's been working on the most, but obviously, whoever he wants as his backup character is going to be his backup character. And now the number 2 person that I was talking about is the person that won Evo, Dragon. Obviously, he plays Black Manta. Not Black Manta. Excuse me, Wall. Don't kill me in the comment section. Black Adam, and then Aquaman. I feel like those are 2 very strong Dragon characters, and the way that he whip punishes and plays neutral is so good, like godlike, that he's going to be a problem. But I haven't seen him in a while. I've looked at KIT. I looked at Winter Brawl. Well, no, he did go to KIT. He did play Black Adam in KIT. I think he placed in the top 8. But other than that, yeah, KIT was in January. We haven't seen him at a tournament or anything like that recently. Now, if he did War of the Gods, I don't know. I haven't checked the War of the Gods, like who's playing in the tournament in a while. So I don't even know who won War of the Gods. So it could have been Dragon for all we know. But yeah, I haven't seen anything from him. So hopefully he's in the lab working. Maybe he has a new character that nobody knows about. It'd be very interesting to see him play anybody else. But yeah, man. I definitely think it's him, and I think it's him and Sonic Fox is like top in our Injustice guys. Respect. Now, Event Hubs I think had an article on it, and they both like the way that their stats worked up was like one would win this tournament, one would get second at this tournament, one would win that tournament, and then the other one would get second at that tournament, and then one Evo, one Injustice Pro Series. So it's kind of like who do you figure is the better Injustice player? So it'd be great to see that story and that rivalry keep going and things of that nature. And yeah, man. I think number 3 is Theo. You know, he plays some Dr. Fate now. I think Superman's obviously probably the best Superman in the game. Supergirl's looking pretty sharp too. Solid Dragon Ball player. I expect nothing less. It's weird too because Theo's probably easily the 3rd best player, or arguably, like you can make an argument for him being the 3rd best Injustice player in the world. And like, it's like consistency, bro. I don't know why I went down. It's consistent, bro. Like it's like I don't see Theo doing bad this year. Like I see him in like pretty much every top 8 and just be like, oh, I got top 8. I did well. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just Theo. I think he's a good player. I think he got 3rd last year. So that's another reason why. But, I'm not going in the order of rankings. I'm just going in the order of how I wrote my notes. So I had the Echo Fox boys together. And I think Scar's another great guy who's going to play well. I mean, we got a good Brainiac. Maybe the best Brainiac I've seen. His Red Hood's looking good. I played a little bit of Adam at Texas Showdown. So I think he's ready. I think he's going to play well. I think he's been training. He's been grinding hard. So follow him on his Twitch. I like his Twitch channel. He's always playing. He's always practicing. He's always leveling up. Sometimes he plays something casual, but he's funny. It's funny. It's hilarious as hell. His stream's dope. He's a good person. That's someone you want to see do well. Like, there's no question about it. So I'm always going to be a big Scar fan. Hopefully he does well. Who else to talk about but the person who finished 2nd at EVO? The Flash God Lord God Flash himself, but Mr. Honeybee. Still playing Flash. He posted a clip yesterday of his run can't combos. Running man stance can't combos. Say that 4 times fast. And it was disgusting. Like, he kept the person in the corner because he was playing against a Captain Cold player, and they're touching like this. So he hit him through can't running man stance cancel. Then running man stance cancel. And you gotta guess. And he's touching you in the corner. Like, he's so close to you that you probably couldn't even put up an ice wall. You probably couldn't wake up with nothing. Even if you had armor, he's gonna hit you twice by the second time that your armor tries to register. Like, it was so disgusting. I felt ill after I watched the video. So, and he's been working on the Starfire. He's been working on the Supergirl. Injustice 2 is definitely one of those games where it's the matchup, so counters are a huge thing. But I feel like there's so many good players to where they're like starting to become loyalists to one character that you have to train with that person to get that experience. Like, I think there's a lot of great Flash players. I think my homie Swift is a great Flash player, but there's only one Honeybee in the way that he plays Flash. So you gotta get that practice. Like, you gotta play Honeybee. Like, yo, I need to practice with you so I can be ready for you and any other Flash. I think Silverrod, Hellboy, Sonic Fox, Captain Cold. Like, there's so many people that you have to play. Adam, like, Gross, Green Lantern. Like, you have to play those people just to get ready for that particular matchups against that person. Another great Superman player is Tweety. Tweety's been solid. Tweety, I think he's even leveled up a little bit. He's been consistent. I expect him to do real well this year. I wouldn't like Tweety being in the top 16 in the Injustice Pro Series final. Is not surprising to me at all. Like, I wouldn't be surprised at them. Deoxys. Sometimes, like, when I watch the tournament, I don't always listen to the commentator unless it's someone I like. And there's no shade towards anyone, because, I mean, hell, there's going to be someone one day that does that to me until I'm somebody. I understand that. So if I don't hear the names, I'm just reading it. So I apologize for pronouncing it wrong. Blue Beetle. I think he's one of those people where you gotta play him to get experience with his Blue Beetle. So I expect his Blue Beetle to do well. Coach Steve is atrocious. I love his combos into the vomit. His pressure with Dex and the combos that he does with Dex. You know, he's a big Marvel player. I felt like he played something else too. I can't remember that. I expect Coach Steve to do well. Katana Prime with his Harley. He won Michigan Masters. I hope Katana Prime is in one of those situations where he could damn near make the Injustice Pro Series final and commentate it too. Like, I doubt they would give him that much pressure because, you know, obviously it's a big tournament and there's a prize pool and you want to do well, things of that nature. I understand. But he's one of those players that can do both. That I can commentate it and I can make top 8. What you want me to do? I mean, he did it at Michigan Masters. I feel like he was supposed to commentate and then he messed around, made top 8 and won grand finals. And the set was sick. Silver Eye, I mentioned him before. Shouts out to that guy, cool streamer too. Like I said, a lot of these Injustice Pro Series are Theo too. Theo streams. So does Sonic Fox. But a lot of these Injustice Pro players their streams are super chill, bro. Like you go in their streams, they talking about tech, they playing the game, and they chilling. Like they having a good time. You know what I'm saying? I think it's one of the sickest communities as far as just playing the game goes and shit. Like I always find myself lost in an Injustice 2 stream. Like I could easily turn on the Injustice 2 stream right now and have it play in the background and like get work done. Not saying that Injustice 2 is boring, but like just the way that they stream it is super relaxing, it's super dope, super like they build an environment and still Silver is a good player. Like the stuff he's able to do with Hellboy, the jump air cancels and he's just flipping side to side. Oh my god. Stupid. I expect him to do well because I don't think that a lot of people are going to have that Hellboy matchup knowledge. And he beats Zoners quite well. Like, Silverado going to do good, man. And he has a Batman, too. Like, worst case scenario, he pulls out the Batman. Batman going to do well. The good homie Trey Pound, I think his Harley's been leveling up as well. I think he's a good player. I feel like with Combo Breaker being 233 or 200, what did I say? 223, excuse me, not 33. 223 players going there. I feel like it's going to be one of those tournaments where it depends on who you play and when you play. And I feel like Trey Pound's one of those good players that if he doesn't have to play like the cream of the crop, he's going to flourish even more. Not saying he can't compete and not saying he can't do well, but if his bracket's looking better, like you got some no names and then like you don't play a top 3 player. Like I'm talking like the elite of the elite until at like top 8. I mean, obviously gonna run into him, but like top 16, top 32. I expect Trey Pound to do real well. I expect Trey Pound to get some points. Like that's the homie, and that's not even like no bias or bias if you want to call it. I don't care. I expect him to do well. Like I'm just being straight up. I think he will do well. I think he will. Echo, we were talking about earlier, I think his Black Canary was super sick. I would love to see his Black Canary compete and do well. And I think he can do well in Injustice. I really do. So, I would love to see that. Forever King, I mean, the best Batman. Like, is this a question? The best Batman. I mean, he makes Batman whatever you want Batman to be. Straight up. You want Batman to zone? Forever King zone. You want Batman to be up close and pressure heavy and a mix-up character? He can do that too. Whatever he wants to do, Batman a defensive and I'm gonna punish you for making a mistake character. Whatever he wants. I don't even realize what I'm saying to you. Viewer, if you're watching to this point, because it is 27 minutes long. He can do whatever he wants to you with his Batman. Whatever he wants. That's how good he is. Gur, Adam, godlike. Like it's sick. It's disgusting the stuff he's able to do with that character. Like, it's gonna be a problem, especially if you're not worried. Oh man, because think about it. You gotta play neutrals, footsies, lift punish, footsies. I don't know why I said it like that the first time. Don't judge me, judge yourself. Then you got trait. Like that's something we're not even talking about. He didn't even use trait yet. He just played you solid, and then I'm gonna use this trait and try to block it, try to punish it. Whew. Gross, like we said earlier, his Green Lantern is the best Green Lantern. Solid player. I've seen him run a couple sets with Sonic Fox, and I think that's going to level him up even more. Everybody was kind of surprised when Gross did some of the things he did last year. I don't want to say he just came out of nowhere, but everybody know about Gross now. Like, you better put some respect on Gross' name, or you going 0-2 against him. But yeah, I'm sorry. Rita Voorhees, Swamp Thing, Bane player, just to name a few of the characters that he's played. I'm Team Swamp Thing. I love Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing's a fun character, a little tough to play, and has some unfavorable matchups, but any Swamp player of mine, big fan. Nikki playing Hellboy, Catwoman. Nikki's a guy like Killer Instinct player too, and Killer Instinct's going to be representing their Combo Breaker, so I expect him to do well there as well. White Boy made top 16 last year. Wouldn't be surprised if he made top 16 this year. Scarecrow player, been faithful to the character since the day it came out. And I feel like Scarecrow's still a good character. Now here's two people that I'm not sure about. Tekken Master and Foxy Grandpa. And the only reason why I'm not too sure about is because I haven't seen anything personally. Now, I don't know if they could enter the War of the Gods, so I don't know if they did. And like I said, even if they did, I don't know. I tried to look back at some tournaments and stuff like that, but the last thing I saw was some stuff from last year from these two, so I don't know if they're playing other games. I don't know if they're playing Injustice. I expect them to do real well if they are, but if they're not, I don't know. Maybe after this, I'll look up a Smash GG, see if they're registered for Combo Breaker, but I haven't seen anything. So, hopefully so. I think Foxy's grandpa will be, but I don't know if I'll take him that soon. Especially since he lives where he lives. It's probably hard to get to a lot of US events, but obviously he's damn good at the game. I mean, he finished second for crying out loud last year at Combo Breaker, so I wouldn't be surprised. Or top three. I think he did get second. I think Slayer got third, if I'm off of memory. Illusion's godlike Green Arrow player, so that didn't do well. I think he's just like Beal, just one of those consistent players that you know is gonna place well. Like no surprise there. Hatani, Robin loyalist, stayed with Robin from the get-go. If you wanted to practice against the Robin matchup, you don't know how to play it, you better ask Hatani. Because if you don't play someone like him, then it's going to be a long day when you play him. Don't think you play your best friend, who's a Robin player, who's pretty good, and then go against Hatani, you feel confident. Because I would. Rewind. Rewind's been playing a lot of Blue Beetle lately. I feel like there's another character he plays, but it's slipping my mind right now at this very moment, so I do apologize for that. But they're playing a lot of Blue Beetle, been going against homie Samij, so they're both noble. And I feel like those two strong players right there. Slayer, Black Adam player, and then Punk, too. So, I mean, Slayer's obviously going to do well. Slayer's one of those players that he always does well. I mean, I feel like he played Aquaman, too, at the beginning of Injustice, and his Aquaman was pretty sick, so Black Adam's still strong character that he's been playing. I expect nonetheless. Punk, I think, is an interesting player. I think Punk can actually make top 16 as far as the Justice Pro Series. Like, I think he could probably be the first player ever, well, I don't know about ever, but to make, like, Capcom Cup and in another game's, like, tour at the same time. I think he's that good of a player. I think he plays Black Adam exceptionally well. It just depends on where he gets placed in brackets and pools and stuff like that. I think he can get points as long as he's in the right tournament and vice versa. Samij is a good player. Finished second at the Injustice Pro Series to Sonic Fox. I mean, thinking of E-League. I think it is Injustice Pro Series. I know he finished second to Sonic Fox. But, Catwoman Starfire looking sharp as ever. It goes against Sonic Fox a lot. Him and Rewind go against Sonic Fox a lot. And I feel like that's going to level up your game so much. Because it's the rub. You know what I'm saying? It's you don't know how good you are until you play someone who's really good. And it's kind of, take it. Like, I live in Iowa, right? And then Des Moines is technically a small town. So, like, when I moved to Arizona, I didn't realize how big Arizona was until I put myself in that environment. You know, that's the thing with fighting games. You don't realize how good you are until you go to your local, and then you see where the competition is at. And then after you go to your local, you go to a bigger tournament, like a major tournament, and then you realize how good the competition is there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to put yourself in different environments to see where you stand at, and then see where you level up. Like, you could be the best player ever, but you won't know that until you go elsewhere and compete and do things like that. Because, like, online never really gives you good strategy. But I think practicing with one of the best players ever, Sonic Fox, I think he plays a lot of characters exceptionally well. I mean, he can play the roster. So it's like Sonic Fox playing Firestorm will still give you a good look at Firestorm and understanding that character. You know what I'm saying? And then last but not least is Biohazard, the brother of Honeybee. I mean, your brother's Honeybee. Like, I mean, you're no slouch either. You're Biohazard. You're Bane's guy, like, you play Harley. But you figure they're brothers, so that's leveling up consistency. Like, that's a player who made Injustice Pro Series top 16. Two players, two brothers, who can consistently play each other offline. Because offline versus online is completely different. Because like online, I swear I can never react to anything. But like offline, I react to stuff. And like I be playing on monitors. I mean, come on, you see this big ass TV I be playing on? Like the reactions is not there sometimes, folks. But yeah. Now, lastly, this is going to be a long video, so I do apologize for that. But I want to give you my preview. I want to give you the top 16 players that I think are going to make the Injustice Pro Series tournament. And then I'm going to give you 4 that's on the bubble, and then we're going to get up out of here. Woo! I'm surprised I talked this long. But my top 16, I think is going to be Sonic Fox. That's probably the safest bet. And then Sonic Fox and Dragon. I'll give Dragon his credit. I think Sonic Fox and Dragon are going to be the safest bets. Dragon playing Black Adam. He might have a pocket character. We haven't seen him in a while. I haven't seen him in a while. Let me stand corrected there. Sonic Fox can play the whole roster. I think Sonic Fox is going to have a good day at the office when he plays Injustice 2. I can't not see Sonic Fox placing in the top 8 in every single event that he goes to. That's how good he is at the game. But that's how hard he works too. Scar, I think is a safe bet. Theo's a safe bet as well. Honeybee is a safe bet. Forever King. Gross is a safe bet. I got Rewind. Not saying I don't think Rewind's a good player that like people should be gasping for about me saying that, but I definitely think Rewind's going to play well. I think his Blue Beetle's going to do well. I feel like there's another character he's known for. I'm butchering it off the top of my head. A lot of this stuff was like I wrote some stuff down, but then off the top of it I had to go off memory. And I feel like Rewind's going to get his Blue Beetle to the point to where he can compete, and he's going to be one of those just consistent players that's always getting points, especially if he plays online, stuff like that. Smeej obviously finished second to Sonic Fox. Been practicing with Sonic Fox. His Catwoman, I think, is the best Catwoman. Like when you have the best Catwoman, people have to go. They're gonna have to know that matchup. Like she's just too good of a character for you not to know that matchup. Slayer, I think he's gonna play well. I saw that he is going to Combo Breaker, so his Black Adam's gonna be ready. If he might even pull out the Aquaman, you never know. Illusions, I think, is one of those players as well that's just consistent, as sharp as always. I think he's going to play well. White Boy. And then the 2 spots that I wasn't sure about is Tekken Master and Foxy Grandpa. But obviously you have a European champion, so I think Foxy Grandpa can take that easily. But it also depends on if they're going. I don't know if they're competing like that, so those 2 spots might be open. But if not, if they are competing, and then obviously, if not, then it changes. In the last 2 spots, Deoxys, his Blue Beetle, I like one of the better Blue Beetles in the world. I feel like he'll do real well at events. And Silver Rock, I think that Hellboy is going to give a lot of people problems, and I feel like nobody's going to really adjust to the Hellboy until it's too late, until it's tournament time, and you have no other choice but to adjust to it. I think he's going to flourish this season. As long as there's a random patch for Injustice 2, I think Injustice 2 is probably the most fair, and I use that term loosely. But as long as there's no random patch, I feel like Silver Rock will do well players with Hellboy. And then some on the bubble people is Punk. Like I said, I really do believe that Punk is good enough to where he probably could be in the Injustice Pro Series. Just depends on if he goes to the events. Biohazard. He was there before. I won't be surprised if he's there again. And who else did I write? Coach Steve. I think Coach Steve might be a sleeper pick. No, I know everybody's saying like what, but I think his atrocities is really good, and I think he's gonna be one of those people that surprises people in his placements. Not surprise people in the sense of like you can't place that high, but I think he's gonna get a couple. I wouldn't be surprised if he got top 3. Like I'm calling some sleeper picks, and then Gurr. I think that Adams is different. I think he can play the game exceptionally well. I think he'll place well. And like I said, the biggest thing too with the tournaments is your pools, and then who do you play? Like my biggest thing is like I wouldn't want to play none. Let me say it correctly. Let me say this before I begin. I wouldn't want to play none of these guys in tournament because all of these guys are godlike. But I wouldn't want to play a Sonic Fox until like winner side top 8, or I would want to play a dragon until like winner side top 8. Like I wouldn't want to play him to the point where I'm already for sure guaranteed to points. And like if you don't have to, or if you like your toughest matchup is maybe someone who's like the 45th best player and you're like top 50, that's a good day at the office. But now if your hardest matchup is the number 1 player and you're in the top 50 and that's like top 32 that you gotta play the number 1 best player, y'all ain't looking too good. But I'm saying anybody could get beat on any given Sunday. But yeah. And that's it. Because my voice hurts. And hopefully I get to do some commentary. The ultimate goal is to be there at the Injustice Pro Series. I want to see the event. I want to go to the event. Like I said, be heard, future FUC commentator. I love Injustice, man. So don't think you guys share this video to grow my YouTube channel. Share this video to grow the Injustice scene. I should probably put my knee down because it's kind of weird. But yeah, I want to grow the Injustice scene. I want to put this everywhere. I want to show it some love. I want to do it the due diligence that it deserves. I want to carry it a little bit that Mr. Aquaman and Echo has been carrying it for. And let me know if you want Injustice. Oh no, they won't be this long because obviously I can shorten it up. But let me know if you want Injustice in its own separate video, or do you want it in my weekly like tournament wrap up video? Because I can just make those a little longer. Or I could just make Injustice in something to give it the love it deserves. Like I said, Be Heard, future FGC commentator signing out. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to leave a like, comment, notification bell, all that. Who do you think is going to win it? Do you think it's Sonic Fox or do you think it's the field? Or if you think it's the field, let me know. Let me know. I want to grow. Shouts out to Tesher Mike. Shouts out to Warrior Gods. SR rankings. And SRK rankings. And we're studios. Yeah, come on. Peace.